In the far reaches of the earth, where the air is thin and cold and time seems to pause, the sky comes alive. Bands of emerald light twist like smoke, arc like rivers, shimmer like silk. To some, it is beauty. To others, a spiritual message. To the trained eye, it is something more. A sign, a warning, a trace of something vast and unseen. This is the aurora, the northern and southern lights. A marvel of natural wonder. A spectacle of light dancing across the night sky. But beneath this elegance lies a fierce, invisible story of cosmic violence and planetary defense. The aurora is not just a pretty sight. It is Earth's neon scar from a battle we rarely notice, a story written in plasma, magnetism, and time. Our story begins at the center of the solar system, with a star that sustains all life on Earth and yet threatens it. The sun, our constant, warming presence, is not calm. It is not peaceful. It is a roiling sphere of nuclear fusion, constantly erupting, spitting out flares and charged particles, entangled in magnetic fields twisted by forces we still don't fully understand. Every second, it sheds 1.3 million tons of mass in the form of solar wind, a continuous stream of charged particles, hurtling through the solar system at speeds up to 800 kilometers per second. And then, sometimes, it erupts. A coronal mass ejection, or CME, hurls billions of tons of charged plasma into space. If Earth lies in its path, our magnetic shield takes the hit. We don't feel it directly, but the skies do. Fortunately, Earth is not defenseless. Deep beneath our feet, molten iron churns, creating a magnetic field that extends tens of thousands of kilometers into space, our magnetosphere. This field deflects most of the solar wind, shielding our atmosphere from erosion and our bodies from radiation. Without it, life as we know it wouldn't exist. But when a powerful CME arrives, this shield strains, bends, compresses, and then something remarkable happens. Charged particles are pulled along magnetic field lines toward the polar regions, funneled into the atmosphere like water down a drain. There, 100 kilometers above Earth's surface, they collide with molecules of oxygen and nitrogen. The impacts excite these atoms, and as they return to their normal state, they emit light: green, red, blue, violet. This is the aurora, the sky's illuminated reaction to a solar storm. Each aurora is a masterpiece, and every color tells a different tale. Green, the most common, comes from oxygen about 100 kilometers up. Red, rarer and more dramatic, emerges from oxygen at higher altitudes, above 200 kilometers. Blue and purple, often seen at the lower edges of the display, come from nitrogen excited in the densest layers of the atmosphere. These glowing curtains can stretch for thousands of kilometers, shifting and dancing in real time. Sometimes they pulse. Sometimes they ripple like waves in water. And sometimes, when solar storms are strong enough, they appear far beyond the polar regions, in places that rarely see them. But while the aurora enchants those on the ground, what's happening above is far from benign. What looks beautiful to the eye can be hazardous to the machine. Auroras are just the visible symptom of massive electromagnetic disturbances in the near-Earth environment. During a strong geomagnetic storm, the Earth's upper atmosphere expands, increasing drag on satellites and shortening their lifespans. Radio signals become distorted. GPS systems lose accuracy. High-frequency communications used by pilots in military operations can black out entirely. And beneath our feet, the danger moves silently. Geomagnetically induced currents can flow through the ground, finding their way into power grids, pipelines, and fiber optic cables. In 1989, a severe storm knocked out the entire power grid of Quebec in just 92 seconds, leaving 6 million people without electricity. This was a storm far weaker than the infamous Carrington event of 1859. In September of 1859, Earth was struck by the most powerful solar storm ever recorded. It began with a massive flare spotted by British astronomer Richard Carrington, a white light burst so bright it could be seen with the naked eye. Within 17 hours, the coronal mass ejection arrived at Earth, far faster than usual. What followed was chaos. Telegraph systems failed across continents. Operators were shocked by electric surges. Auroras were seen as far south as the Caribbean, and miners in Colorado reportedly woke, thinking it was sunrise. Had a Carrington-scale storm struck today, experts estimate it could cause trillions in damage, disabling power grids, satellites, internet services, and banking systems for weeks or months. And scientists agree, it's not a question of if, but when it will happen again. In the 21st century, we have a new kind of meteorology, space weather forecasting. NASA and NOAA maintain a fleet of satellites, SOHO, ACE, SCAVR, and the Parker Solar Probe, watching the sun in real time. When they detect solar flares or CMEs, alerts are sent to Earth. Power grid operators prepare. Satellites adjust. Airlines reroute. But forecasting is still in its infancy. We often don't know the strength of a storm until it hits. And with only 12 to 36 hours of warning, the margin for action is razor thin. Research is racing forward. The European Space Agency's Solar Orbiter, launched in 2020, is providing new views of the sun's poles, regions critical to understanding solar cycles. Missions like Themis and the upcoming Geospace Dynamics constellation are decoding the Aurora's microphysics in ways never before possible. And still, we learn, slowly, how much we don't know. Long before we understood ions and magnetospheres, the Auroras spoke to us in myth. To the Sami people of Scandinavia, the lights were spirits of ancestors, to be respected, even feared. Whistling at them could summon them closer. The Maori of New Zealand called their southern aurora Te Maingi, the blazing breath of celestial warriors. The Cree believed the lights were torches held by spirits guiding souls to the afterlife. Even today, in a world of satellites and smartphones, the aurora humbles us, reminding us that nature can still surprise, overwhelm, and inspire. As we look toward the future, toward lunar bases, Mars missions, and a civilization increasingly dependent on technology, our vulnerability to solar storms becomes clearer. Spacefarers beyond Earth's magnetic shield face radiation directly. Without proper shielding, a single solar event could be fatal. Back home, our smart grids and interconnected systems grow more complex and more fragile. Preparing for a major solar storm is no longer science fiction. It's necessity. Understanding the aurora is not just about beauty. It's about survival. And yet, when you stand beneath the shimmering sky, far from cities, where the air is sharp and the stars are clear, the science fades and the wonder returns. The aurora reminds us that Earth is not isolated, that space is not empty, that beauty and danger are often one and the same. It is a dance choreographed by the sun, written in electrons, performed in silence, and watched by us, awestruck and vulnerable. The next time the sky comes alive with color, look closely, because the aurora is more than just a pretty sight. It's the universe reaching down to remind us we're part of something bigger,